Hello, welcome to the Watkins Museum of History. We're so happy to have you. I'm the lead educator, Amanda Hamilton-Burkhart. Today we're going to talk about a friend of ours, Maggie Herrington. But first, let's show you this beautiful building we get to stay in.
This beautiful building was built in 1888 by a man named Mr. J.B. Watkins, originally as a bank and land mortgage company. He used all the most beautiful materials of the time, including 13 different kinds of marble. In 1929, it was turned into City Hall. And then in 1975, it became the Douglas County Historical Society, which it still is today. If you were living in Lawrence, when Maggie was living in Lawrence, you might see some of these objects that we have in the museum. This object behind me is an artifact. It is originally from Maggie's time. Whereas these are reproductions, which means they're made so that we can touch them without breaking them. Maggie would have worked on a spinning wheel with her mother to create different fabrics and textiles because it wasn't as easy to just go to the store and create clothes. She would also have had something like this. This is willowware. It was a very popular type of plate and dishware at the time, and it was used because it was still nice but easy to pack up if you're traveling west from the East Coast. So Maggie might have this in her house. Also, let's think about what were the roads like for Maggie? Do you think they would have been made of concrete or asphalt? No, they would have been made of dirt, and there would be lots of horses tromping on those streets. And you might need to cover your face to keep the dust out of your nose. You would also have darker clothes because you don't have a car to get to school. You would want them to be durable so that when you were walking, if they got dirty, they would still be easy to wear. But this is different. This dress, you can tell, is a reproduction because they didn't have Velcro. When you did get to school, you wouldn't use paper like the Maggie journal you're writing in. You would use a slate. You would do all your homework, and then you would have to bring this back, or you would do all your math and show it to your teacher. This looks like something we have today. I'm trying to think. Maybe a tablet? This was actually called a slate tablet. Can you imagine doing all your homework on this? Let's look at some more things. This rocking chair belonged to a family that lived in Lawrence at the same time Maggie lived in Lawrence. This wasn't hers, but she and her mother might have had one very much like it. They would keep it in their parlor. That's just a fancy word for living room. It was the place where the family spent time together. She might have sat in this chair and sewed or done her homework. Her mother might have sat there and mended socks. But the thing I love about this chair so much is that the fabric is not made of what you think. It's actually made of horsehair. Remember how we talked about all the horses on the road? Well, with all those horses, they had to get haircuts, and then they used that hair to make this very strong fabric, which is why it's still so beautiful and shiny today. Speaking of those dusty roads, here we have a picture of Massachusetts Street in 1868. And here we have one more modern day. Look at all the differences. There are cars versus horses, the road is dirt, the buildings look different. And even though there were so many differences, we also need to think they had families and friends. They would go to work and business, school, lunches, the park. So there was a lot similar for Maggie and a lot different. This is why we love to learn about our history. See what came before us. Thank you so much for coming to visit us today and talk about Old Lawrence and Maggie Herrington. We hope you enjoyed learning all about what it would have been like for you to live 150 years ago. We hope to see you soon. Bye!